Hello, and welcome to The Fat Squirrel Speaks. Today is May 7th, and this is episode 108. I'm Amy Beth, also known as The Fat Squirrel on Ravelry, and The Fat Squirrel, that's SQRRL on Instagram. I'm your hostess. I know you could infer that, but I just felt the need to say the words. How are you? I hope you all had a lovely week. Spring is officially here. Hooray. It is May. But we were all a little worried, weren't we? Admit, you were a little worried. This week's episode will have spinning, knitting, shenanigans, not in that order, the shenanigans will first, spinning, knitting, wool piggery, perhaps questions if we have time, and shameless self-promotion. So let's get into it, okay? Okay. Shenanigans! Shenanigans! So this week, I should have brought a pencil or something to write with so I could cross things off my list as I said them, but I did not. Fail. This week, I went and had a brief meetup. TNNA, that's the National Needlework Association. That's right. That's right. Had their convention this year in Indianapolis. I guess typically they have it in Columbus, Ohio, but somebody messed up. And so it was a little bit earlier than normal this year, because of course it was also Maryland Sheep and Wool. I'm so jealous, Maryland Sheep and Woolers. I'm so jealous. If you can't do things, you should totally get an Instagram account, because it will make you feel like you kind of did the things, because I got to see all the pictures. It's very exciting. So thank you for documenting your Instagram-y Maryland Sheepy Woolly adventures. Thank you. So anyway, that was this weekend. But also this last weekend. But also in Indianapolis, the TNNA. So I met up with some very fancy people. I met up with Joelle, who is, well, Joelle B, who is the dyer, the yarny of Wandering Wool, W-A, wandering, not wondering, but Wandering Wool. I met up with designers Teresa Shabe, I'm sorry, Teresa, and Varen Brandon. They're fancy. They have published patterns in like periodicals of fanciness. Not even kidding you. They're fancy. Just check out their designs. They are also nice humans with faces. And I also met Rachel Coopy briefly. She had to jaunt. She's international, you know. She had to deal with international things. But I got to meet her. She's super cute, of course. We had no doubts, right? Super cute. She's, of course, the designer behind, oh, she has a sock book. But most recently, she has her Toasty ebook and book, which has all the hats in the world that I want to make. She's super cute. All those ladies were super cute. So we got to meet and have a little talk there in the Indiana Convention Center, which I had never been to. I've driven past it a million times because it is across the way from the zoo, but I've never actually been in there. So that was fancy. In true cheap self, I planned to go down and I was going to park there next to the center because there's parking garages. You know, it's in a downtown area. There are many a parking garage in the vicinity, and I was like, oh yes, I'll just park into those. And I drove past the parking garage and it was like $8 for the first 3 seconds, and I was like, what? So I drove down the street until I got to the Lucas Oil Stadium, which is where that's the football stadium here in town. So I parked there for $5 for the whole time I wanted to be there. Of course, it also meant I had to walk a little bit, like 3 blocks, in essentially flip-flops. I mean, they're fancy active flip-flops. Don't you love that? They're active flip-flops. They're by Chaco, so they have like, they're not just like flippy flip-flip. They have some support, but let me just discuss. On the way back to my car, my calves were like, what are you doing? Because like I could walk that sneakers, no problem. But in flip-flops, your feet get a little moist. There's a little bit more slippage. So there's a little bit more calf clenching to keep your feet in the shoes properly. And by the time so this is part of the other thing that happened. As we were sitting down and talking, there was these strange people that would walk by. Because it was prom weekend. Well, a prom weekend. So they were treated to the sights of our lovely downtown, filled with spray tanned and over bedangled teenagers. It's Indiana. It's the beginning of May. So many unnaturally colored people. Now, see, clearly I'm not a great person to like comment on this because I am naturally pale all the time and I'm okay with that. Not that I'm like afraid of the sun or anything, but I just am naturally pale. So you see all these like young women in very tall shoes and so much spray tan. So orange. Like they are full on toddlers and tiaras, except they're grown. Spray tan-orama. So I had to cancel my spray tan appointment because they were out of spray tanning solution. I would have. It's insane. But the best thing is, on the way walk back, so we got to see lots of them. And let me just discuss. Find out where your local prom is. Like, find out when it is. And then just go and get a coffee on a corner somewhere. Because it's a hot, wonderful mess. Hot, wonderful mess. So awesome. There were so many somewhat neon colored evening gowns. It was out of control. There was like, oh, I'm a flamenco dancer and also an 18. Like neon sherbet, not sherbet, neon, what's that color that's not orange, but not red, but not pink? That color? It's, if those are these three colors, it's in here. Neon. With like so many ruffles and like jeweled bodices. We're in Indiana, people! It's Indiana! But the best thing is, on the way home, on the way to walk back to my car, I don't know, what is it? Is it like 4 blocks, 3 blocks? It's not like terribly far, but it's a distance. I got to walk with some of them, meaning I got to try to pace like so that I wasn't actually walking up on any of them, but not like also getting passed by them. It was a challenge to get that pacing correct. Let me just discuss. My flip-flops are not cooperating. I know they were in heels, but they're like 18 and they weigh like 120 pounds. They probably think I was saying that they weighed too much if I said that. I don't even know what that means. That's like what I weighed when I was in 5th grade. But that's what they weighed. And they're in their like very tall shoes of spangliness. And I'm still like, you know, because I don't want to look like the crazy fat lady who can't walk. So I'm pushing it a little bit. In my flip-flops. My calves are like, nobody doing so that. I'm shut up, calves. Suck it up. Because I didn't want to walk too close to them, even though I really did, because I totally wanted to hear what they were saying, even though I'm sure it was not of interest to me at all. But I kind of wanted to hear. Because when I got to my car, all of the promers were converging because they were actually having their prom at the stadium. How much did that cost? I don't know. But so I'm parked in the parking lot where all of the teenagers are parked, or either their moms or their limos. By the way, there were hot pink Humvee limos. What is that even about? Our chicken limo was not represented. I did not see our chicken limo. We totally have a chicken limo in Indiana, in Indianapolis. I told the ladies I was having my chat with that my daughter's totally getting the chicken limo if she gets a limo. Because I think that there could not be any inappropriate shenanigans that could get up to in a chicken limo. That's what I'm saying. Right? Do you agree as a parent? I think so. So I got to see them all queued up outside and I did not have a camera! There are times I really wish I had the iPhone. I need the phone that talks to space, but only sometimes because I'm not paying for it. But sometimes I really want one because that would have been I would have totally pretended I was somebody's mom and just went up in there and took a lot of pictures. I could have passed. Nobody would have questioned me. In my hand knits. Shush. What an awesome. So it was very festive. I wish you could have seen it. It's just like a whole row of fancy chickens. A whole row of fancy chickens. Ridiculous. And wonderful. I'm sure they had lots of fun. So that was that. It was very fun. So those were the shenanigans. Shenanigans of the future. I will be at Kentucky Sheep and Wool on the Saturday, which I believe let's not pretend I know what day it is. I think it's the 17th, but it's a Saturday of the Kentucky Sheep and Wool. We will meet at noon near, I hear that there's funnel cake. We will meet at noon near like the central food location. I actually don't really like funnel cake. I know, right? I'm a betrayal to my fat people heritage. Yeah. Yeah. I always really want to like festival food. Like I get all jazzed about it and then I'm like, yeah. Because as a person, I really don't eat food that's bad for me. I just eat too much food that's good for me. It's true. So that's the shenanigans of the future. What else? I think that's all. That's enough, right? Shush. Okay, going on. I have spinning. I have finished spinning. I have Three Waters Farm, Falkland, in the Summer Morning colorway. There's three. Oh, why do I even try? Really? They were at Maryland Sheep and Wool. So jealous. So jealous. Here it is. So this is 8 ounces, and this is approximately 900 yards. I will admit that I may have undercounted a little tiny bit, but it's a lot to count, okay? So 900 yards, so it's about a fingering weight. Look at it, isn't it fun? Shut up. So this side looks much more green, and then the inside looks much more the other colors. But I'll show you the other colors because they're obviously the prettiest and the most Barber Pole of all. Come on, camera. Work with me. There you go. It's like, stop moving, spaz hands. I can't, camera. Shush. Don't judge me, camera. The inanimate objects have such attitudes around here. It's out of control. So there's the greeny side. It was lovely to work with. I spin. Really, this is... One of your lovely faces, I can't remember who right now, said that she's invented a fat squirrel drinking game. And among other things, you have to take a drink every time I touch my hair or say fancy. So if you'd like to play along, I could ask her if she would be willing to post the rules. See? Even though I'm wearing my hair up, I'm still working for you. So there it is. I don't know what else to say. What do I say? It's 2-ply. It was lovely to work with. Three Waters Farm was always beautiful to work with. Oh, I sometimes have trouble with Three Waters Farm. They have such a lot of colors in a braid. For example, this one had 2 colors of green. You can't see quite as well right now, but it had 2 colors of green, and it had a gold, an orange, transitioning to a red, transitioning to a very dark purple. I don't know, I lost count. Is that like 5? Is that 6? I don't know. It's more than 3. So I have sometimes trouble with them getting muddied. So this time what I did is I just spun, I had 2 4-ounce braids, so I just spun them each straight up like they were. They were not dyed in the exact same, they were dyed in the same sequence, but they didn't start the sequence in the same place. Does that make sense? Like one started at orange and one started at green or something. But there was lots of overlap, like in the green areas and in the purple areas. Those two kind of tended to match up more. But I think it's going to be fun. I think it'll be a very fun shawl or cowlie shawl. Call. So I'm excited about it. I think it turned out really well. It took forever to apply. Not really, but for me it did. Eek. So yay that! I'm very pleased. I love Falkland. It's a pleasure to work with. Can I show it any more? Would you like me to show it some more? I'm sure you would. Should I show it some more? Wait, I'm not going to touch that nearly as much. I had one of, okay, so it's a random aside. I had one of these moments this week where my hair is currently driving me crazy because it's like not long enough to be long, but it's too long to be short. And so it's constantly up and whatever. That's fine with me. I actually don't mind to wear my hair up all the time. But I had one of those moments this week where it was down and it was like all stringy. And I had the moment where I looked in the mirror and I was like, dude, I look like a grown woman. It was very strange. My phone's ringing. That's another thing on the game. You have to drink now. The phone rings. Sorry. Oh, so I had this moment where I was in the bathroom and I was like, I looked through the mirror, my hair was all stringy, but it was like down. And I was just like, dude, I look like a grown-up. Clearly I'm a grown-up. I'm 35 years old. I'm almost 36 any minute now. But like, you don't always have that moments because you change gradually, you know. Yeah. And I often look at myself and I'm not like, oh, I look young, because I don't think that at all. But I look like I've always looked. But I had that moment where I was like, I'm like a grown-up. It was very exciting, and I felt very pretty in my grown-upness. I hope you feel that. Feel pretty in your grown-upness. That's all I'm saying. Just do it. I have no way to help you do that, but do it. Okay, do it. No Botox. No. Okay. What was I even talking about, right? What? That's how the show works. So the next thing I'm spinning on, oh, I forgot. Did I really do that? I'm such a moron. It's over there. I can see it. Well, here's one. I ordered some fiber from Spun Right Round. Okay, I just had to make sure I wasn't like making that up. This is Falkland. She actually sent this for you. This will be a prize. Yay, her! In the Smoke Stack colorway. Isn't that beautiful? It's like all, it's got like purpley grays. It's so pretty. But this is actually Rambouillet. It's not Picnic. It's something. I'll try to remember to put in the show notes. But here, I have 2 ounces spun. I know, Ryan, I'm so helpful for you. Not at all. Whatever, there's a lot of stuff I have to gather. Sometimes I miss things. Don't judge me. So here it is, yay! I'll show it to you close. Maybe that'll make up for it. Do you see me like trying to see if it's focusing? Hi, I'm over here. See my man? So it's all these fun colors. It's like a fun tealy blue and a fun hot pink. There's more hot pink than you can see just because how the bobbin worked out. And this fun goldy yellow, and then this like fun dovey, buffy kind of gray. Buff kind of gray. I totally dig it. This is Rambouillet, and I'm spinning this one quite chunky because I want it to be all flurfy. And these colors are so crazy, I can't imagine them as anything but hats, mittens. They could be a cowl. That would be very cute, but I don't have enough. Isn't that cute? So cute. Her color sense is awesome. I don't get a lot of bright colors usually. I'm such a liar, right? This was like a spring purchase. But you know, normally I'm all about the earth tones, but every once in a while I just gotta mix it up. And she does great brights. Here, I'll show you this too, because we're already talking about it. Wool Pig! She posted a picture of these on Instagram. Oh my gosh, maybe I could find it and be all savvy. Could that happen? Probably not. She posted, oh my gosh. And then, of course, I go to Instagram to look for the picture that she posted. And my iPad, which my child has totally, you know, co-opted. She has stolen it for her own designs. It's totally gunky and full of gunk. Like really, it looks like she ate ice cream and then licked it. It's disgusting. I mean the iPad, not her ice cream. Okay, so here's the picture that enabled me. Oh, it's not showing up as well. Can you see it? You really can't see how pretty it is. So these are her sock blanks, and I've seen that Marigold Jen is getting them too, but she took all of hers from Marigold Sleeping Wool, so I couldn't buy them. Maybe she'll have more. Marigold Jen, sometimes you watch. Anyway, but I was really curious how they would knit up. They knit up super fun. You can't really tell, but they have like this fun, just like gradual striping that happens. Not like striping, I shouldn't say that, but like ombre striping that happens. I'm very excited about it. So I had to buy one because I'm a wool pig. I spin and knit a lot. I need to replenish the stores. Back off. So this is the one I bought. Ah, I'm so excited. It's called Picnic. Right? Right. It's gonna be awesome. So this base is 463 yards. It's quite a lot. Of 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I think that's the standard blank for the sock blanks. Standard base for the sock blanks. We're just gonna throw the word blank in a lot and see how that works for everybody. So these will not be matchy-matchy socks, but they will be sort of matchy. But aren't those fun colors, and I'm just so excited to see how this. Now see, this to me is going to be more potato chippy than just regular self-striping, because it will be a total mystery how this is going to work out. Mystery. I secretly want to buy some of these and dye them for SSK. But I can't. I'm crazy. But it'll be fun. So yeah, I'm so excited. Oh, one of the reasons, sock blanks have been around for quite some time, but usually the ones I have seen have all been double knit. So they've done the 2 strands and then it's knit with the 2 strands at once, which means you either have to do 2 at a time socks, which I don't do, or you have to like wind both balls and then somehow, and that's a hot mess to me. I'm not interested in that. Those are not fun shenanigans. Those are shenanigans. That doesn't even make sense, sorry. So they can't all be winners. Shush. So that's why I have not. These, however, are single knit. So this is just 1 strand. And so you could either try to like make them match up. I'm not going to try. I'm just gonna knit until my brain explodes. Or not. It's just like knitting, you can only pull from one end. Isn't it gonna be fun? I'm so excited. Can you tell? I'm very excited. I'm having serious, I can't knit enough things. I'm really, is it the season? Maybe it's the season of spring and rebirth and all the things are coming alive. But I want to knit everything. All of it. I want to knit it all. I can't help it. It's hard not to cast on 9,000 things this week. I did cast on 3,000. I finished something. We can talk about that. So now we're into knitting. Okay. Knitting, finished object. Bam. I finished my Irish coffee. I'm gonna put some video in right here. So, this is my sweater. You can see there is actually, this fits like there is less positive ease than in my Miranda sweaters. You can see a little bit more of my junk right here, but I think there's 2 reasons for that. Really, there is no less positive ease than in the other one, but this has the ribbed panels in the front, which of course pull it in a little bit, and it also, turning, pivot, has the ribbed, that's a healthy butt, has the ribbed panels in the back, which, you know, further pull it in. So, I don't know, if I were to make it again, I guess I would give myself a little bit more room. It has, like, look, it has plenty, like, there's no lack of ease. So part of it might just also be that I haven't worn it yet, and so it hasn't really, like, relaxed any. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but I'm still happy with it. I'm still sure I will get quite good wear out of it. It fits really well. You see the bust darts bring it in just a little bit here. And I did, pivot again. I did do darts in the back. Yep, that's right. That's my butt. So anyway, ta-da! Did you enjoy that? Whatever. So this is my Irish coffee. I said some stuff. You remember, right? I'll try to say the other stuff now. There's no graceful way to put these things together. This is my Irish coffee by Baby Cocktails, Thea Colbin, etc. It is knit with Quince & Company, the worsted weight in the Marsh colorway. I want to say it's Lark, but I might be a liar. So that's that. And I knitted on US 6s. My gauge was what the pattern suggested. And I used about as much yarn as the pattern suggested, perhaps just a tiny bit less. Marsh. Lark. I was really right. I think by the time I finish the sweater, I might know what it's called. But usually not. So, but what do I need to say? Okay. I talked about the ease. It's a little bit snugger than I would like, but it's not actually snug. I think it's just the ribbing, and I'm hoping that it will relax as I wear it more, because I didn't actually like block it out. I just washed it and then laid it out. So I'm thinking it'll stretch in the midsection a little bit, because really if I'd made it any more positive ease, it probably would have been crazy to suit my crazy self, which doesn't always need to happen. Other things I did differently. I did bust darts and butt darts. I talked about that, and you got to see my exciting Jell-O shot butt. You're welcome. Oh, the other thing that's different is I haven't really knit very many pullovers. The only pullovers I have really knit in recent life, meaning like in the last 10 years, yeah, have been the 2 Mirandas I've knit, and they have both been with Aran weight yarn. So the heavier yarn has a tendency to cling a little bit less too. And also both of them were like more heathered, which I think also kind of breaks up the light more and causes less visual attention to this, which I have a lot of. So there are many, I think those are lots of reasons that maybe it looks a little bit more snug than the other ones. It's certainly not because I have gained weight this winter. Certainly not! It's because of that too, though. It's winter. I'm gonna walk more. So, yes. Okay, so the cable, I talked about that. You saw, if you've just now watching this, the typical pattern only has 2 cable repeats. I put in 3. The Mirandas don't have cables in the back, so that's, again, there's less sucky in this. That's the classy way to say it. Also, the sleeves I did differently. The sleeves in the pattern are actually written as like an elbow length sleeve, but I love Mirandas so much, and I'm never going to wear this just like without anything under it. I don't think I would want to. I can't imagine that I would want to, because I really like this styling of like long sleeve t-shirt or button-up shirt under sweater. So I didn't really need the sleeves to be that long. Okay, so in the pattern, you stop the ribbing for the sleeve when you stop the ribbing for the chest. Okay, but because I knew I was gonna have the sleeve shorter, and essentially I was just gonna cast off for the sleeve at the armhole, which is what I did. I didn't want to have just like a little band of stockinette. I thought that would look really weird. So I just kept the whole thing ribbed, which I am pleased with. I love how it fits. It doesn't flare out. It doesn't like draw extra attention there. So I'm pleased with that modification that I made. The other thing I want to talk about, I knit these on the ChowGoo red lace interchangeables that come in this thing. I don't often talk about, well, sometimes I talk about whatever, needles. Here we go. I haven't talked about these yet. I bought these a while ago, and I have used other interchangeables. I've never had a whole set of interchangeables. The only interchangeables I've ever used are the Knit Picks Harmony, the wooden ones. Well, we're fine. Whatever, they're Knit Picks. I break them all the time because I'm a hoss. I'm not going to buy any more very much. Anyway. So I bought this set as an investment because normally I'm like, I don't really need interchangeable needles. Like, what do I need that for? I have lots of other needles. But I really love these ChowGoo red laces. And I do not have many needles in the larger sizes. So you can get a small and a large set. I went ahead and got both sets together at the same time. So the small set is a US 2 through a US 8. And the large set is a US 9 through a US 15. And I have very few needles in this larger size. So I thought, hey, why not? And I love the ChowGoo fixed, so I figured it was pretty safe. I'm very pleased with it. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it now, I love the joins. I think they stay joined well. Some people have trouble with the joins. I think some people knit differently, and you have a tendency to twist the needle more. I've never had trouble with the joins coming undone, unless I didn't tighten them with the needle. One thing I do like about this set, and again, I don't have a lot of experience with other sets, so I'm not dissing any other sets. Originally I was like, because they come in a small and a large. The cables also come in a small and a large, but I think that's great because it allows them to go down to a US 2. A lot of interchangeable sets only go to like a 4. I may be making that up, but I think that's true. Because the disparity in the cable width or the join would be too great between a US 2 and a US 15. So it gives them a bigger range and also allows your smaller needles to have a smaller cable, which is I enjoy. period. Okay, but this is the reason I'm really excited about them for this sweater. This sweater is knit top down. And everybody's like, oh, top down's so great, you can just try it on as you go. And I'm always like, that is such a pain in the neck for me. Because I'm not a normal needle size around, right? So when I do it, I have to like put them on like 500 sets of needles. Okay, it's totally exaggeration. But even if I only put them on 2, like to get it over my shoulders and my boobleage, sometimes I have to be really careful to try to hold the 2 needles together in both places and try to make sure that's not gonna flip out and stitch down, the stitches don't fall out. It's very stressful. So every time I have to put it on, I'm like, oh, not only do I have to put on a bra, it's true, but also gotta jimmy around with all that, and you gotta like knit half of it on one thing, and then you gotta knit the other half on another thing. And then like, okay, you try it on and you're like, okay. Then you gotta like knit it off the other needle, get it all back onto one needle, and it's total pain. But, now again, other things I'm sure they might have this feature, but I don't know about them. ChiaoGoo has these little doohickeys. Can you see these little tiny doohickeys? And they are called cable connectors. Easily enough. And what they do is they connect cables, right? Which means, for one thing, they also offer, which I think Knitpicks does too, but they offer one of their cable links up to 50. But even if you don't, you know, whatever, you can put 2 32-inch cables. You can put, you know, you're knitting and you're like, okay, I'm going to try this on. All you have to do is unscrew your needle, whichever one you want, put that little cable connector on there, put on another 32-inch cable, and then you can put on a stopper or whatever. It has these little things, they're like stoppers you can put on. And then you can try it on and not have to worry that you're close to, and so when you're done trying it on, all you have to do is yank that cable, well, gently, pull that cable back through, untwist it, untwist the connector, and put your other needle back on. It's a much easier process for me. If you're a big girl, or even if you just got giant boobs, or giant shoulders, whatever, I'm not judging, I don't care, I love all your faces. I'm saying, I love it. Highly endorse. Not paid by ChiaoGoo Interchangeable Lace. Okay. Finished. This is my only finished object. Okay, another thing I've been working on that you have seen in the past, but I have not talked about in a long time. I made a Keira sweater. I'm not sure who that's by. But anyway, I made a Keira. It is a sport weight sweater. I talked about it a bit last week, right? And I'm vaguely recalling this as I say these words. It is a weird construction. You start at the bottom. It's basically like a T or a cross or whatever. You start at the bottom, then you cast on for the sleeves, and you knit the sleeves, and then you cast off for the sleeves, and then you knit the front. I'm sorry, spouses who randomly walk in on the show. It's very confusing for you. It's okay. Anyway, so it is a lace pattern. It's like this. It's a lace pattern, and I did a gauge swatch, but you're never really sure how it's going to block out entirely. Okay, you probably are sure if you're a better person than me and you like pin things out when you block them, but I wasn't pinning this out. So I wasn't really sure like what the gauge of the lace would be naturally. Plus I had never knit anything in that shape, and so I wasn't sure like really how long to make the sleeves. You know, I just wasn't sure. So I'm pretty sure I did them as the pattern suggested. Well, for me, it turned out way too long. Probably a gauge issue. I'm not saying it's the pattern's fault at all. But I will say that sometimes when they grade a sweater, when they, you know, that the initial designer will knit it in like a size medium or whatever, and then they grade it up to larger sizes or grade it down to smaller sizes. Sometimes things do proportionally get longer, like sleeves. Well, just because I'm fat doesn't mean my arms are instantly longer. I don't really, like, I get making the torso a little bit longer because I got more like hills and valleys to encompass. I get that mostly. Sometimes it's a little bit ridiculous. Just saying. But I get it. Okay. But my sleeves are not longer. Like, no matter how fat I get, my arms are this long. So I don't, but whatever. I don't, yeah. I'm just saying. So it's probably a combination of the two. Either way, I'm not trying to diss the pattern. I think it was really, I like it. I think it's a fun sweater. It was fun to knit because it was weird. It was stressful because the whole time I'm like, oh, I don't know if it's gonna work. But it was still cool. I enjoyed it. It's by Cecily Glauc McDonald. And you can see in the picture, her sleeves are longer than what mine ultimately became because I didn't make the sweater as long because, again, of my giant, awesome Jell-O shot butt. It's awesome, right? High five. Embrace it, man. Just embrace yourself. You might need longer arms. I don't know. Maybe you get them when you're fatter. I don't know. It's all circular. It's happening right now. Hers is longer in the pattern, so I still think my sleeves were longer than hers. But I didn't make my sweater as long because, again, of my Jell-O shot butt. I was afraid that if it tried to go over my butt, it would be like really bad. Because you can't, it's not easy to do shaping in this lace pattern. Oh, that was a lot of words. I'm sorry. Does that make any sense to you? But I made this last year and I really like it. It's with Quince & Company Chickadee in the, I believe it's Snap Pea colorway. But let's see how many sweaters I can wear when it's 80 degrees. Shall we? So here's my original sleeve. I did not put the ribbing on it because it was already so long that if I put ribbing on it, it was going to be like a bracelet length, which I was not jazzed about. Also, because of the way this sweater, and I haven't de-pilled it or anything, so apologies. Not really, but explanation-ese. The other thing that's, because of the way this sweater is constructed, there is no sleeve shaping. So it's very popular now to have a sweater, well, I shouldn't say it's very popular, but a lot of sweaters I have seen or have knit recently have had no sleeve shaping, which again, I think is another like thing that's well suited to smaller framed people because like my upper sleeve circumference is like 18 to 20 inches depending on ease. If I have a 20-inch sleeve like down here, it's gonna be ridiculous. Like I'm gonna be like in the Renaissance. Really? Like just put a feather on it or something. That's ridiculous. So this is the other thing I did not like. I did not like the length and I also did not like how this is. Sloppy. Okay, so I steeked it. I don't know if you really call it a steek when you're just shortening it. Oh, so I couldn't just unravel the sleeve obviously because it's knit the wrong way. So I had to cut it. So now, that's probably up too high here. But now, yay, look at that, so much better. So much better. I'm much happier with it. I'm so excited. So I didn't do the other one because I wanted to be able to show you the difference between the two. Also, it was very cute. I Instagrammed my picture of me cutting the sweater. Some of you totally spazzed out. It was so cute. Because you can see the lace pattern is wavy. But in the lace pattern, luckily, there are 2 rows that remain stockinette. I can't even pretend I'm going to be able to do that zigzag with left or right being confused. Okay, just you see it, right? There are 2 rows that remain stockinette throughout. So I just used my sewing machine and stitched along them. And then I cut it. And it seems like it's fine. Of course it's fine. It doesn't just seem like it's fine. Also, I didn't do anything to tack it down or anything because it's not like anything that anybody's going to see. It's inside a sleeve. Super easy! Now, normally I would not cut a sweater with only like 1 stitch stickiness. I don't know, wait. 1 stitch for margin of error or whatever, but it had to be done. There was no other way to do it with this lace pattern. And I knew I wasn't going to wear the sweater if I didn't fix it. So just, it seems like it's going to be quite secure. It is a feltable wool, so that gives you a little bit extra sense of security. And it's a sleeve, it's not going to get tugged on a lot or anything like that. And that's what it looks like. Is that all I need to tell you? I think so. So yay that, I'm going to fix the other one this week. And then I'll have a more workable sweater. Always good. Okay, other knitting. This is going to be the longest episode ever. Sorry. Not sorry. Why do I even say that? I'm a liar. So, last Oh, I didn't write down who suggested it. I'm sorry. In the thread where I was talking about my ex-piffany, faux epiphany, about how I needed shorty socks, and maybe that wasn't the best idea, but somebody suggested that I try the Footie socks pattern, which is by Miriam Felton. So Footie, F-O-O-T-I-E, Footie socks pattern by Miriam Felton. It is a $6 pattern. It's paid for. I thought, hey, I'll just give it a try. Let's see what happens. It is a very nicely written pattern. It is, you can use any gauge, any size foot, which I always like. If I'm going to pay for a sock pattern, it's got to have some bells and whistles, people. And it does. Okay, it doesn't have to have bells and whistles, but for me to be okay with spending the money, it has to have bells and whistles. Otherwise, I'm just resentful the whole time. Like that. So that's very nice. It's very well laid out. I feel like it's easy to use. She uses a heel, or she uses a short row heel, and the toe is like a flap. I tried the toe as written. I did not like it. It's a common toe. It's where you basically knit like a rectangle, and then you pick up on the sides for it, and then, you know what I mean? So it's like, there's no seam right at your toe. But then for me, when I picked up the stitches on the side, there were totally bumps on the side, inside my toe, which is like wickedly uncomfortable, not inside my toe. That would be weird, right? I'm not on that many drugs. I'm not on any drugs. On the inside of my sock toe. It was not comfortable to me. So I did that toe and then I ripped it out because I didn't like it. But I felt I felt good that I had explored the toe as written, and I did not care for it, so I just went back to my regular old toe. I have a half-done sock. Well, I have a sock. I have a half-done pair. I have such giant feet, it's ridiculous. Okay. If I didn't, my shelf butt would fall down. This is Opal Smile. I have no idea. It's colorway 7937. It's totally not my normal colorway at all. But, you know, summer, making shorty socks. I'm hoping that I can get actually 4 socks out of a ball. I haven't weighed it yet. That would be what a smart person would do. Not that I'm not smart. Ta-da! A short row heel. Not doing it again. Way too much purling. So you knit the sock, and then knit some flat, and then you do the heel. Okay? I don't think that's telling you too much. But because you had to knit some flat and then do a short row heel, it was like way too much purling. Plus I've never done a short row heel. I wasn't wowed by it. I didn't hate it. I just wasn't like, woohoo, let's do this all the time. So I think the next time I make one, I am going to, well, I'm going to make it a tiny bit longer in the foot than this one, because this one is just a tiny bit short, but because, this is my fault, because I end my heel wider. For example, for my size, you're supposed to decrease on your heel or short row or whatever until you have 14. Well, I always do 18 because I have a really Flintstone-y foot that doesn't, like, that's just going to be a nipple on my heel. I'm sure that's somebody's thing, but it's not mine. And I think that's the show title. Anyway, so that's part of it, is because so my length calculation, and you do a length calculation, I really liked. I enjoyed all of that. Felt very much like it was going to happen correctly for me. But because I shortened my heel depth, my overall foot length was a little bit shorter than would have worked out had I done it the complete normal depth. I don't even know what I said that I was going to do the show title. Write down 42 minutes. Maybe you can rewatch that. Anyway. So next time I make one, though, I'm going to do it until I get to the heel, and then I'm going to do it afterthought heel, because afterthought heel, no purling. And it's going to work out beautifully, I think. So I'm just curious to see, like, how these will stay on in my, I'm hoping that they will be great for sneakers, like my little barefoot Merrill sneakers, which I love so much. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if they'll stay upright, but we'll see. What else do I need to talk about? You're like, nothing, shut up. You can just turn it off, it's okay, I don't judge. iTunes doesn't tell me if you don't watch the whole thing. They're very merciful that way. Because Leslie and I are not only internet married, we are also psychically connected. I'm knitting a Viajange, which is my Martita Bem. I am knitting mine also in lace weight this time. My last one was in sport and I love it. So I'm getting another one. This one is Woolen Rabbits lace weight, and this is her Chantilly base. You can't see that. Let's not even pretend. You probably can't even see it now, but we'll just pretend you can. And the Chantilly base, which is an 80% merino, 20% silk. It's 850 yards, so I bought 2. This is the Midas Touch colorway. I love it. It's so gold and beautiful. It's a little bit less bright than it's showing there, but it's gorgeous. She has a wonderful thing. Wonderful. I love her yarn and I love her color palette. It's gorgeous. But now she has a thing, and I'm sure she's had it for a while. I just didn't know about it. But you can actually order any base, any color now, and she'll dye them to order. And this took like only, I don't even think, it might have taken 8 days from the time I ordered it till the time I actually had it in hand. It was not very long at all. Right? She's awesome. So this is all I have so far. Not very much. Well, I guess I should really hold it this way. Whatever. Stop judging me. It feels beautiful. Oh my gosh. If you're worried about diseases, this is the way to go, because this is a gorgeous mask. Ooh, I'm Stephen West. I need eye makeup. Anyway, so I'm very excited about that. This will be a long-term project. You're not going to see it all the time because, hi. I'm knitting this on, see, the pattern suggests 3.0 millimeter, which is like a US, I think that's 2.5, and a 3.5 millimeter. I am currently knitting this on the Knit Picks, which I sort of dissed, not really, but a little bit last, like 10 minutes ago. But I tried to knit this on the Chalgoos and also my sock rockets. It's too slippery. It makes me stressed out. So I needed the wooden needle. The joint is not as happy, but it just... So these are US 3s, which I think is 3.25 millimeters maybe. So if you're a tight knitter, you need to go up on her patterns, because she and I seem to be about right. We seem to be similar in gauge. Not that I've measured the gauge. Didn't knit until it's the right size. Yeah, gauge. Don't be crazy. So that's that. Okay, are you getting tired? Don't worry, there's one more thing. I'm knitting the Wispy by Hannah Fettig. This is also new. Right? Right? I'm knitting it with Quince & Company Turn in the Driftwood colorway. It's the color I needed. It's neutral. Is it gray? Is it brown? No, it's taupe. I think that's what color this technically is. But when I hear taupe, I want to have nothing to do with anything called taupe. But it's actually secretly my new favorite color. My new favorite non-color. So this, if you're not familiar with it, Turn is fingering weight. It's 220 yards to a 50 gram skein. And it is 75% American wool, 25% silk. It's lovely to work with. I've never used it before. I've used lots of other of their bases, but never the Turn. So I'm just knitting the Wispy, which is by Hannah Fettig. It is originally written, it was originally the Whisper cardigan, which was published in Interweave Knits, but it was published for very limited size ranges, or maybe only one size. I can't remember. So Hannah Fettig independently published, I believe she independently published it, called the Wispy, W-H-I-S-P-Y, Cardi, I think. With extended sizes. It actually goes down to like child sizes and then up to, I believe, a 50-inch bust. It doesn't actually go around your bust though, it's just your back. What else do I need to say? So I bought the pattern, even though I actually have that Interweave Knits. But A, I didn't want to have to think too much, even though I totally had to because I changed the gauge. Because that's how I roll. But most importantly, because I wanted to support her for publishing extended sizes. Because, hello, publish extended sizes, people. I buy a lot of crap. Anyway, so that's that. Okay, so it's written for lace weight originally, but then she did do something with Quince where she, I don't know what, but it's pictured and like it's publicized. love the size. Knit with Quince and Company. I believe Turn, actually. I don't think it's with the other one. So, Finch. So, originally the pattern, I think, is 6 stitches to the inch, I believe. I'm getting like 4.5. Because I'm knitting it not only in a fingering weight versus the width versus the lace weight, but also knitting it at a very loose gauge because I want it to be wispy in the sense that it's very drapey and not rigid at all. So I'm knitting it quite loose. I'm actually knitting on US 6s. Right? Fingering weight on US 6s. Sixes. So how this thing works is, again, no arm shaving. You knit it like a shrug. So you knit it from elbow or forearm or whatever you want to elbow. Okay, it's actually knit flat and seamed, please. Knit it in the round. Okay, don't be crazy. Then you pick up all the way around, I believe it's all the way around the circumference of the shrug opening and do some ribbing. And then you knit like a skirt on it. So, even I'm actually going to knit, I do plans to knit this in a lace weight. Originally I just could not find a lace weight yarn that was the color I wanted, which was, thank you Quince, was this color. So I do want to knit it in lace weight, I just could not find the right color. So I'm that a different color. So many words have come out of my mouth in the last 15 minutes, it's kind of ridiculous. That's all I have to say, right? My gauge is different, so I have a smaller cast on than I would normally for my size. But I'm doing the lengths, thus far, I'm doing the lengths as suggested. I think that's all I have to say. Did I say, yes, I said I was knitting on a US 6. I think that's all. I'm excited. Oh, so the reason I'm not afraid to eventually knit it in lace, because normally I'm like, whatever, is A, because it's at a loose gauge, but also B, because it's knit like in those 3 parts, I feel like that breaking it up makes it feel less overwhelming, although I may change my mind as we get further into the project. Okay, that's everything. Okay, we're not going to do questions this week because, hi, ridiculous. But we'll try to do them next week. Should you that. Okay, shameless self-promotion. If you don't want to hang around, don't worry, I won't judge you. You can still be my friend. Bye. Okay. So there's a shop update this week. I know I don't normally do 2 in a week, but these are smaller runs of fabric. I mean, 2 in a row. There's a shop update this Friday, which is May. Is it May 10th? I feel like it's May 9th. The next Friday, it's after May 7th. 8th, 10th. Really? This is why I can't have a regular job, people. Nobody would hire me. So, there will be an update at 9 p.m. Eastern, as there usually are. And the fabric this time, I was a little bit concerned that nobody would like it. But I love it. But I think other people like it too. Because I posted on Instagram, unless everybody's just lying to me because they want to be nice, which is totally possible. It is May 9th, Friday, May 9th. Right, okay, this is Wednesday, not Tuesday. That's right. I'm late updating. I had to file a police report. I'm not even kidding you. Somebody stole packages and US mail off my front porch. Living in the ghetto is awesomely cheap, but sometimes it has its drawbacks. Oh! Anyway. So, May 9th, 9 p.m. Eastern. I love this fabric. I immediately went back and tried to get more, but it's all gone forever and ever, as far as I can tell. Now, some of you are going to be like, what the what? But to me, this, I wish I had bought more of it because I wanted to laminate it and use it as my tablecloth. But it has to be laminated for some reason in mind. Because, as I said on Instagram, I really feel like this is when I go to have tea or lunch or whatever with Frida Kahlo. This is what her tablecloth looks like. Right. Natural lining, unbleached cotton. These are cotton, 100% cotton with cotton lining. Right? This is totally what Frida's tablecloth looks like. Frida Kahlo, right? I was trying to explain it to my mother. I was like, it's like kind of like Latin-y looking, but I don't really feel like it's actually Latin. I feel like it's like 1950s dinner party Latin. I don't understand what it is, but I love it. I wish I had more. They have it in other colorways. I'm totally not interested in the colorways. Because it really does not give the Latin flair. I don't know what is that. So it's available in a sweater size and a large wedge. The sweater size can hold most sweaters. I'm a big girl and it'll hold mine. So that's like a full sweater with another yarn and some fiber or something. I don't even know what I put in there. It's crazy. There's lasagna. I'm not sure. And then the smaller wedge, the large wedge, which will hold just about any shawl project you want to throw at it. When you get my packages in the mail, sometimes I'm sure you're like, what? This is not nearly as big as I thought it was. It's because my bags, like myself, have a fat bottom. So there's lots of room in there, people. Prepare for the apocalypse. Get a fat bottom. Or just a bag. Whatever. Okay, so I've talked enough. I hope you have a lovely week. I'll talk to you next time.